No, please. No, please don't fight. Please don't fight. I've already watched you fight. You're terrible at it. You're terrible. Don't fight.
What's going on? All these badasses in the house. Again, returning to another episode of Versus. Episode 11. We have the alumni here today. That's right. The legend Rick Myers, Kung Fu Santa, is back in the house. We got Kyle Wong, the legend, martial artist, stuntman, filmmaker, all that. And also Mr. Tony of the Dead, my brother from another mother, hanging out. Back again for another episode of Versus. Oh, we already got people here. The Movie Dojo Army's here showing up. Because you guys are badasses to watch us knuckleheads talk about movies. Because it's fun. Let's see who we have here. Mario Live Gaming in the house. Says he liked both movies. They're not great, but he's fans of both of them. Director Ranjit. Oh, here we go. Oh, shit. Director Ranjit is here. His pick is Max Payne. Oh, man, I'm about to make a whole bunch of enemies today. Jake Hall in the house. John Martinez, Heather Love, Phat.78, Bob Odinson, Orlando, Robert Gilbert. He says, hello, chat, and the panel of badasses. That's right. Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and get it going today. So I decided this week, let's do something a little different here. Let's dip our toe into the video game live adaptation genres. And I know, I feel your pain, Rick. I'm going to say up front right now that I apologize. Rick, maybe we'll get together another time and we'll pick next week's verses together. We'll pick it out. But I thought I thought this would be fun only because, well, one of these I did see a long time ago and I was okay with it. I didn't think it was great, but I didn't think it was like the worst thing ever. And I'll give my reasons why when we get into it. But the other one, I've always heard it was atrocious, and I was just like, man, I'm kind of curious. So I feel like this was the perfect time. Let's go ahead and do this. Oh, man. All right. Oh, this is going to be interesting. And don't forget, chat, this will have spoilers in it. And don't forget, if we do have a tie, your vote will count at the end to break the tie. That's right. Movie Dojo Army showing up. We got Tyler in the house. All right, let's go ahead and get into it here. All right. And also don't forget about all our gents here. I always like to, give the shout out. So make sure you always still follow Rick Myers' work. That's right. Buy all his books. Also check out Iron Fist and Kung Fu Kicks. It is phenomenal. Rick is in that as well. He's always awesome in that. And we got Night of the Axe coming soon from our boy Tony the Dead, representing horror genre and representing the martial arts independent scene. That's right, Night Watch coming from our boy Kyle. So make sure you guys support these guys and keep an eye out for those future projects. That's right. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Hitman came out 2007. Quick plot synopsis for chat who doesn't know. A gun for hire known only as Agent 47, hired by a group known only as the Organization, is ensnared in a political conspiracy, which finds him pursued by both Interpol and the Russian military as he treks across Russia and Eastern Europe. Hitman was directed by Xavier Gens and it stars everyone's favorite Timothy Oliphant, Doug Ray Scott, and Olga Kurilenko. And I apologize if I said that wrong. And here's the funny little fun fact here that I did not know until I started watching Max Payne today. Was Olga's in both movies. That wasn't even planned. That was a hilarious coincidence.
You're not
I was
complaining.
Like,
You're not
no,
complaining either.
No. We're not complaining
and
at
it's
all.
weird that she was in a Bond movie after those two, doing those two films. That's the weird part.
Right? Right?
Going from these two to being a Bond girl, I was like,
One of the best Bond girls, too.
yeah.
Yeah, she was good. She was definitely good.
And it was the most forgettable Bond movie, too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of...
I disagree with that. I think it's one of the best ones.
Oh, wow, look at that. Quantum of Solace fans here. All right.
No, not... Yeah. Oh, excuse me. I confused her with the person. No. Quantum of Solace sucks.
Okay.
I confused her with the woman in the first Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
Yes, GoldenEye is always the best one. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
that's a classic right there. Finkster says, "I figured the Olga thing was intentional." Ha ha ha! No, it wasn't. I didn't even. I had no idea. Oh man,
All I
but
know
yeah,
is I have a new crush.
yeah.
all I
Hey, there's
know.
nothing wrong with
Oh
that.
my god.
We're gonna rename Quantum of Solace. We're gonna call it Quantum of Boredom. Yeah, we're just gonna call it that movie.
Quantum of Sadness.
Yeah, that works too.
I love Bond, so I
Yeah.
hated
I even rewatched. I wanted to rewatch it again to give it a shot, and I was okay with it a little bit more. But I still think it's like just they destroyed it with the filming of the chase scenes and driving scenes. Like, what are you guys doing? And
Well, they had
it's the
Rock-
weakest of the Craig movies, in my
They
opinion.
had the. I disagree with that. Spectre,
Oh.
I think, is the worst.
Actually, I might change it. Yeah, I forgot about Spectre for some reason.
Quantum of Solace was crippled by the writer's strike.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay.
Obviously went along. They also made up Tomorrow Never Dies after Terry Hatcher was fired.
Yeah.
But they did a better job with that. Unfortunately, Mark Forster is a dramatic director, not an action director.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I really like Tomorrow Never Dies. I feel like that movie doesn't get a lot of love.
I agree, but there's a whole story. Like I said, Terry
Oh,
Hatcher
okay.
fired.
No. Oh, I didn't even know any of that.
Tried it as they went along to concentrate on Michelle Yeoh.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oops.
There were very famous shirts that the Bond company made sure were destroyed, which said, "I survived, tomorrow never lies." Because it was
Damn.
Tomorrow
Right.
Never Lies.
Okay, wow.
Nightmare to make, but they did a really good job.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah, I didn't really know about that. Wow. But, I enjoy Tomorrow Never Dies a lot. It's got that Philip Kwok action in there. It was fun seeing him do some of the action. I mean, at least compared to the other ones that came after that.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, I actually forgot. I changed it. You're right. Spectre by default is better than. I mean, not Spectre. Quantum of Solace by default is better than Spectre. I completely forgot about Spectre.
good.
I completely forgot about it.
By the way, is that other one come out yet? No.
Oh, the new one?
It's not coming out until November at the earliest.
Right.
Unless they push it back again.
Another year, right? Fuck it.
That was coming out. Oh yeah, Cruella. Cruella's going on to Disney Plus. I didn't know that.
Oh,
But
are
now-
they still charging $30 for it?
Yeah, but that explains that it's terrible.
I kind of agree with that.
Why did they decide to make a movie glorifying a dog killing?
It's terrible.
That is true.
Bad idea.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
It's
Like-
it's really bad. You
wonder
know
how-
they're gonna change the whole storyline, and make her sympathetic. They're gonna do that.
But that's absurd. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's-
We'll
it's-
see. But it's great
'Cause
that we're
fuck
not
dogs.
talking about movies.
Fuck animals. Eat the meat. No, I
Eat the meat. That should have been the tagline of the poster of the Cruella.
Donkey is really delicious, by the way. You should try donkey.
Oh,
It really is. good.
I would try it, but I don't eat meat now. So, but I would try certain things.
You eat meat though, right?
I don't anymore.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Good for you. Good job.
But if I did, I would try a donkey.
I'm
It's
okay with
very,
eating ass.
but of course it depends.
yes.
I even
Okay, let's
think
get back on track here.
I've had really terrible buffalo too, but I've had really good buffalo.
Interesting.
I've only had their wings.
Boing, boing. We're here all week. Versus episode all week, baby. All right. Okay, so
Who's going to talk?
Hitman, my experience with the video games is I played and beat Hitman 2 Silent Assassin. I played Hitman 3 and beat Contract. I think it's Contracts, Hitman 3 Contracts.
Yeah,
I enjoyed. I know. 3 was right around the time where I really became a big fan of the series, but then I kind of didn't finish, playing the games after that. Not that I lost interest. I just was something else came up, and I just kind of. It was one of those. I'll get around to it, and then another game came out. I'll
That's
get around
called
to
adulthood.
it. Yeah, there you go. Adulthood. There you go. Right. But so many years went by, and now we have a film that came out in 2007. So I didn't see it in theater. I kind of waited till it came out on video, and I rented it. And here's the thing. Now, Kyle, rip into it when be honest. We're always honest here. So here's the thing. When I rented it, I had zero expectations. Really, 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 really low expectations. And I was just happy to see. I still had issues with it. I still didn't think it was great, but I kind of liked it a little bit only because at least we taken a mature rated video game property and we made it a mature movie.
Yeah.
You know, at least it was R rated. At least we had some blood squibs. At least, you know, we had a guy get his arm cut off. Like at least they didn't pussy out, because a lot of these R rated movies, you know,
Yeah.
the R rated video game properties, when they get movies, they you know, snip the balls off of it because they wanted more butts in the seats, right?
Yeah.
So
Give it a PG-13 rating.
right.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you.
Oh yeah, and I did not know that. When we get to Max Payne, I did not know that until after I watched the movie and did some research about it being released in theater as PG-13.
Looking at
Yeah,
you.
so when it's my turn, I'm going to make a lot of enemies right here. So anyway, so like I said, I really like Timothy Olyphant, and I want you guys to be honest and, you know, get into it when when it's your turn. Let me know what you really thought about him. I really like him. I mean, one of the best episodes of Mandalorian was him in it. You know, there's a lot of Deadwood fans out there, Justified. Like, there's something likable about him. But this is what, and I it's weird. I'm torn with him in this movie. This is what I feel like. I feel like, okay, we're going to make a movie based off of a character who's basically just death incarnate. He is the angel of death, who doesn't really have emotion or anything. What's that, Tony?
Oh, Ranjit's asking me what that is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just go ahead and
Okay.
just.
Right. So you're making a movie based off a guy who's the angel of death, who just walks around, doesn't really have any face expressions, right, or do anything. That's what he is. You know, Agent 47 is in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the studio is like, well, we can't make a movie based off of a guy that has no emotion. You can't sell that. So let's cast Timothy Olyphant, who has his own style of charisma. Let's cast him as the part, right? Mm-hmm. But here's the problem. I feel like once they cast him as the part, they told him, now remember, you have no emotion and you're supposed to be ice cold, which I feel like it defeated the whole purpose of casting him. You know what I mean? So I'm very torn. Like I'm perfectly fine with him in the role, but I feel like, I don't know if the director or somebody there was just like, no, you're showing too much emotion. I don't know. So I want to hear what you guys think.
I know.
Oh, you do know. Okay, well, hold that thought, Rick, when we get to you. All right. But yeah, like I said, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Video game movies are like atrocious. I mean, to me, they're just such a bad rap. Why do you think people consider Mortal Kombat, that came out in 1995, to be the best video game movie ever? You know, which is still debatable now. And now we have the new Mortal Kombat movie coming out next week, which could dethrone. It could actually dethrone in terms of being the best video game movie. Not the greatest movie, but we'll see. We'll see, right? Kyle, we'll do a video together. You know, we'll see. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. But the thing is that's where I was mentally at the time. I was like, okay, it wasn't that bad. We did get some, we got some fighting on the train there in the subway. That was all right. And, there was some body count here. I was like, all right. But rewatching it now, I kind of feel the same way. Just more torn now on Oliphant's performance, and maybe the climax could have used a little bit more oomph. I feel like once it started, it ended, especially when it was like he shot a few dudes, shot a kung fu monk, right, as you do, and then a helicopter came up, shot a whole bunch of stuff through the thing, right, and I was like, oh, we're getting started. And then the helicopter just turned around and went away. And then he looks over the side, sees the hot hooker. He gives her what she wants. She walks away in slow motion, and he turns around and he killed the hitman that was trying to kill her. And he's like, I told you not to do that. Sorry, my hitman sounds like Trump.
Oh God.
Oh God. But anyway, and then it just ended.
600,000 people, so that's fine.
God damn it.
That's true. Not that we're getting political, but
It's a statement of fact,
Oh God. So anyway, it just kind of ended. It was like, it gave me a little bit of blue balls, because there was some decent action, not the greatest, of course we've seen better, but there was some decent action sequences in there. Like, I like when he showed up at the bar with the villain's brother, and he just like totally decimates all those dudes. He came out, with some huge 2-gun action shooting them. I was just happy that there was finally some action. But every time, so when Hitman was doing his thing, I was perfectly fine with it. In between that, though, I was just like, man, this is so bland. Like, this is so generic. Like, I really don't care what's happening here. But it's not, to me, it's not the worst thing ever. I don't know if it deserves the 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think there's a little bit more meat to it. I think just rewatching it after all these years, my issue really was the ending was just so like, okay, we got to go. If it had a bigger body count, I'd be like, woo, scratching the itch. I'm good with this. Fuck all the generic stuff. I don't care. Right? You get what you wanted. But despite that, though, my really issue that's kind of pointing me in the side, or poking me in the side, excuse me, is Oliphant. Like, I like him and I don't like him at the same time. It's weird. But we'll see what you guys think about it. I'm really curious. Kyle, Hitman.
Okay.
Hit me.
So, like you, Samurai, I like played the games. I started playing this game first when it came out on Xbox, and then it went to Blood Money, then Absolution, then I think after I played only the newer ones that came out for this generation. I haven't played Hitman 2 or 3 for the new generation yet, but I just remembered when they announced this film, I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. And I remember they said, yeah, Vin Diesel as the first casting choice. I was like,
wow,
no? Just no.
I'm surprised that didn't happen, actually.
Yeah, and then a friend of mine told me, and Rick, I think you'll agree with me on this, because the director Xavier Gens was actually here filming a film here, and he mentioned to this one friend of mine that this movie is not the original vision that he wanted. So,
okay.
So let's not hashtag release the Xavier Gens cut of that, because I don't want to know. Because there is I honestly there's like a lot of weird things about how a video game movie is and everything else. This one was like, here's the property. Let's see what we could do with the name and the characters, and just like, let's see how it goes. And just throw in every generic storyline in there. And then and lucky that you said, Samurai, that you rented this. I didn't rent this. I immediately bought this when it came out on DVD, and I was like, that was the biggest regret of my life. Why do I have this in my collection? I remember watching it, and then for one time I just went, I don't want to remember this. And then when you guys asked me to come on the show, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to dig this thing out. And then I remember popping in the DVD, and I just go, what was about this film that was really off? First few scenes that they show was like tattooing the children. I was like, oh yeah, they borrowed footage from that Jessica Alba show, Dark Angel.
What?
Yeah, those opening scenes that you see of them training the little kids, that's all from Jessica Alba's show, Dark Angel.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
That's really bad.
Because it is owned by Fox, and they just decided to recycle that. And I was like, how the hell did you guys not have enough budget to say, yeah, let's get to this?
That's really bad.
And the fact that, even though I appreciate the fact that they decided to do the whole international thing of everyone is an assassin international-wise, like John Wick's world. Yeah. But again, the whole idea of Agent 47 is supposed to be a clone of this specific, like, I believe the scientist that's supposed to do it.
Yeah.
And then when you have like all these other international assassins in there, it's just like, okay, yes, I understand you're trying to distinguish each one and try not to get Timothy Oliphant to be in every single shot and then CGI everything. I understand that, but at the same time, it sort of loses that kind of feel. And the way they approach this film too, it's like you said, it's bland, and then there's the action, but at the same time, I kind of understood the way they approached it too, because it's like, okay, how do you make a Hitman game that appeals to the general audience and video gamers that that played it? Because that's literally the fine line of trying to find that balance, but also you have the studio saying, how can we make money from this? While we have this property, we don't understand what can make this work. And it was like, okay, let's just add this one dude to like say, okay, you're coming in to write this. Did you play the game? Yeah. Okay. Take what you played about the game. I'm looking at you, Paul Anderson. And take your experience of what you did and put it in the script. Basically, they just, like Agent 47 is supposed to be a silent, perfect assassin, and he rarely does it in the film. He's just like, okay, go in here, guns ablaze. I'm like, okay, you just literally took every aggressive gamer and just went everywhere, just started shooting. He literally did one level in what's it called? In Blood Money, where you go into a theater, and I did this. I actually bludgeoned everyone with a hammer. I bludgeoned my targets. I bludgeoned his bodyguards. I bludgeoned the witnesses, and I just said, "Yeah, this is that movie." And then I just remember watching this whole film, going, "Okay, so what cliche are we gonna throw in here?" So we got the cliche of, here's how the story went, and let's throw in a witness that supposedly saw you, and of course she doesn't really know who he is, and they try to force in the fact that like they were trying to force this weird kind of romance subplot in it, and I just couldn't buy it at all anymore. And the fact that, like you said, Samurai, that it's really weird and off-putting that Timothy Olyphant is supposed to play this really, lack of better cliche, stoic and very cold-blooded killer, and here he is like talking almost every 5 minutes. I'm going, the dude is like exactly supposed to say, he's a man of just minimal words and more action of how he moves and how he executes his targets. And really, like, this film, and the lack of a better term, the reboot sequel that happened, which again, that was taking advantage of Absolution when it came out at the time.
Yeah.
And
I hate that movie too, by the way.
Yeah, right. So
only because it's just they had an opportunity to improve everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like we just making the same mistakes again.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for the stunt team that was involved with Agent 47, but
yeah,
it was like with Agent 47, it was almost like, okay, Oliphant showed too much emotion. We're going to get a guy who shows none, just like the character, but we still can't market that. So let's throw in another female or another side character. And then the movie really was about her.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, just stop making Hitman movies.
And that was mostly the problem. Like, the fact is, they were trying to like market this kind of character, and the thing is, you can't really market this type of character without introducing it into the general audience, because again, they expected the video gamers to be the main audience along with the general audience, but then they just said like, here's how the movie is. Do you want to go play the game now? No. Do you want to read the novel now? No. It's literally like those kind of intellectual properties that they think that this is what's going to be the right kind of film for everyone, but it's not that. It's just a mess. Like, I know it sounds like nothing but cons about this film, but
oh no, it's fine.
Truthfully, it is like a lot of cons. Like you said, it showed a lot of the action and gore and gunshots, which it didn't shy away. But at the same time, I was just like, I'm so disillusioned to the fact that it really, exactly, Rick. It's just boring to the point where like, what is this?
I wish it stuck with the other ending they had.
Mm-hmm.
They had another ending. I saw it on the Blu-ray special features, and that ending, to me, that ending was better. It was just like, oh shit, what's gonna happen now? Kind of ending. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't all sweet. And I was just like, man, that kind of would have been ballsy, and I kind of would have enjoyed that more instead of just, I'm Donald Trump, and my Timothy Oliphant Trump, Timothy Trump, impression. My gun is huge. My gun is huge. So leave her alone. I told you to leave her. I told you to leave her alone, and you didn't leave her alone. Okay.
Got it from China. Got it from China.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Cal. Sorry about that.
No, basically, yeah. As you saw, I tossed my my Hitman DVD to the side just to put Hitman contract stuff because really,
Yeah. Hey, it's
I'd rather
perfectly
be-
fine.
I'd rather be playing this than watch that movie over again. I might just sell that.
Yeah.
Actually, who would want to buy that? Honestly,
By what?
exactly right.
Oh, I bought the Blu-ray. Well, it was for the review. It's okay. It's all right. I got it for super cheap. Oh, shout out to Rick's Deadpool sweater there.
Yeah.
Love it. I didn't see it until you got up.
I don't have any video game shirts.
Right.
I figured at least I'd wear the bullets.
Sure. It works.
Good plan.
All right. Kyle, anything else?
So far, no. Just I hate this movie.
All right. He hates the movie.
I rarely say that. I just hate this fucking movie.
All right. Tony, it's all you, my friend. What did you like about pros and cons of Hitman?
Well, again, this is another week going and never seen the movies. I have played the game Max Payne, but I haven't played any of the Hitmans because I'm not really a stealth guy. And when it comes to playing games, I'm more of a
I'm terrible. Too.
run and gun kind of
Yeah.
thing. So I never had any interest in them. But I didn't hate the movie. There were, it wasn't great. It was kind of boring. I liked Timothy, but I mean, the first time I saw him was Scream 2, and I loved him as Mickey in Scream 2. And every time I see him in something, like he was even on The Office for a few episodes, I like to see him. But when I didn't know who the hell was playing Hitman, and when I saw it was him, I was like, really? Like I don't see him as that.
Right.
I like him, and I think that's why I liked the character of Hitman.
Yeah.
And I know what it was we're saying about, he's supposed to like be like no emotion, all that shit. And I guess it was like the girl was more or less trying to bring him around a little bit, even though she's a hooker, but she's like trying to get him to have sex with her. And he's like, that was the funny. He's like in there. He's like, it's a bad idea. That's a worse idea. It was funny to see his reaction, but like you could tell.
So that's two movies where Olga got rejected by the hero.
Yeah, actually, that's true.
I would never, never in a million years. But Olga, be nice. But she was the best thing about the movie. But anyway,
That was her responding to her agent after he got her into these.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never want to do another video game movie.
Nah.
Then Max Payne. I don't know. But,
Max Payne.
I got you into a James Bond movie, the worst one.
Damn it.
Not the worst one.
Yeah. Second.
I liked, because I don't know anything about it, what's going into it.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't clone him like you said he was cloned. I'm glad there wasn't like a bunch of him running around. That would have been too much. I like how he kind of like did come around at the end, like with shooting that guy. Like I told you to stop following her.
Yeah.
Like it kind of like
I told you.
showed a little bit of humanity. Yeah, I told you. I can't do an impression of him. I don't know. He's crazy. He's a crazy guy, but like to me, I see him. I just think he's nuts. Like he could be nuts, but I think he's a good actor. I don't know.
Right.
But I enjoyed some of the kills. I like the
Yeah.
squibs in that. Didn't really care about anybody though. No, any of that shit.
Mhm.
Then part with the swords, like where they're like they like nod at each other. Like that was kind of neat, but still not great. I thought they'd be like even better fighters. I don't know. I didn't hate the movie, but I'd never watch it again.
Right.
So
That sounds about right.
But it wasn't the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
It
seen
wasn't-
worse.
it
I've
wasn't-
seen worse.
It wasn't. You got to remember when I'm watching this movie, I'm comparing it. It wasn't as bad as this. Suckers.
At least
Okay.
that was memorable. At least
Okay.
that was memorable.
That's true. That's actually true. But
But
yeah.
actually, a friend of mine, him and I, we were talking about what was the best kind of video game adaptation that actually existed, and he says this with a passion that it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
and he says Double Dragon is the masterpiece. And I was like,
Double
are
Dragon
you
is just
serious?
fun.
And he says, you shut your mouth. That is a masterpiece. And
Yeah.
I'll always mention this one scene in there because it's the most weirdest scene and the weirdest line ever happens in it.
Okay.
They're approaching like their friend's like hideout, and Billy says, hey, you think they have a bathroom? I gotta take a whiz. And then Jimmy just says, you're weird. And then it just cuts. I'm like, was that in the script?
Samurai, show him the best part of that movie.
Let's see, do I still have it here? Hold on. Oh, let's see if I still have it. Oh yeah, it did have some good cinematography at points. Good cinematography in Double Dragon, but that was about it though. That was it. There was one funny. There was one funny moment at the end of Double Dragon was that I forgot to talk about when there is it really that bad video we did, me and Master Chaos, was Al Leong and the other guy that was with him were at the end
Jeff
on the side of the road. They're on the side of the road with signs saying "We'll hench for food."
Yeah.
That I was like, oh man, that was like that would have scored a few points, but yeah, it's pretty atrocious. It's pretty like I said, this is the mindset I'm coming from, like Double Dragon and all these movies, and then I see Hitman, I'm like, all right, not great, but I can sit through it, so
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get to anything else, Tony, before we get to Rick Poole.
Not really. I mean, there's somebody said about her didn't even say anything about when he drugged her. Then, like, what did it say? Oh, hey, you drugged me with a syringe. Why didn't she say anything like that? I don't know.
Maybe she didn't know she got drugged.
Maybe she forgot about it. I don't know.
Like everyone else forgot
he got
about
her
this
breakfast. He got her breakfast to shut her up.
Oh, that's right. And that was funny though, where she's like, it's been in the trunk for hours, and then he's like, I got your breakfast. Then he like throws puts her in the car and throws it, and then the old guys are watching. He goes like that, like rolls his eye, and then the guy's like, oh my god.
Oh, all right.
I like
so that's
where he
it.
tried to show a little bit of humanity.
Right. So not the worst thing ever, but you like parts of it, but you never watch it again. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right.
One and done.
GunFoo Santa.
For tonight. Yeah.
Positives and negatives of Hitman.
Well, this separates the old men from the boys. Because when I turned 65, I decided I would never again have a bad meal. I'd always eat every meal as if it were my last. And so I haven't had a bad meal since then. And now I realize I have to make a new rule for versus, which is life is too short to watch terrible movies.
That's a good point.
And, you said it's not the worst thing you ever saw. Well, I can guarantee it's the worst thing I've seen in years.
Well, I watch a lot of bad movies, right?
I'm selective about what I watch. I only want to watch, all my Kung Fu DVDs. When I made the movie My Present Place, I edited them. So I only had 4 and 5 star movies. I took out the 1 to 3 star movies. And, of course, I judge them if the Kung Fu's really good or whatever. So anyway. Right. And the reason I'm GunFoo Santa, I think I may have mentioned that I contributed to the new book on John Wick Kung Fu. So this was helpful for that sort of thing. And I'm absolutely fascinated because in all my writings and my podcast about action movies, I think one of the worst things that has happened to modern action in film is when they changed, like John Wick 3, the second half, where they changed a character from a credible, believable human being into a physiology-free video game character. Mm-hmm. So this it didn't ruin my life to see these movies. It helped me understand my general feeling as to what doesn't work in video game live action film.
Gotcha.
Now, Hitman, however, is a fustercluck of a film. It was originally going to be executive produced and starring Vin Diesel. And as soon as he left, that's a bad sign. Then, of course, what the director said, he was reflecting what happened to him, because at the end of the film, near the end of filming, the studio fired him, replaced him, and brought in somebody to cut the film down.
Oh,
And
God.
basically, this was a great example of a movie made by a company and run by executives who had no respect for the genre or for fans of the genre. They didn't have any respect for the video game. They didn't have respect for anything. The only thing that I mean, again, the parts that were okay were okay. And the thing that separates this movie for me is Timothy Olyphant. Because, unlike someone we'll talk about soon, Timothy Olyphant is an actor.
Oh!
I mean, no, it's not a burn. It's a statement of fact. And I don't think even Mark would disagree with it. I'm not saying he's a terrible actor. I'm saying he's a performer. He's an entertainer.
Gotcha.
He does what he likes to do, and that's all he does. You never, again, I'm slipping over into the other movie.
Yeah.
But you never see a Mark Wahlberg movie where Mark Wahlberg is playing anybody other than Mark Wahlberg.
That's true.
And that's fine. That's what I want because I like what he does when he does it well.
Right.
He didn't do, 21 Mile well, but he did the Spencer movie fine. He did some other ones fine.
Right.
I like him when he's at his best.
Yeah.
Right. You got to give him the right role and right director, right?
You look at Timothy Olyphant's filmography, he's a really good actor. He does so many different things. His television show Justified was excellent. So I could watch him try to make lemonade out of this sack full of lemons he was given, but also feel for him and everyone involved because the studio just, anybody else worked in Hollywood? I see what they're like when they want to sabotage a movie. When they want to say, we don't want to make any video game movies, so let's sabotage this. Let's sabotage it in the editing room. Let's sabotage it in the promotion. Let's just cut this thing off at the knees because we can. That's what gives us bad producers power. To dash people's dreams. And we don't care about the audience. So, this is good enough for garbage. That's the general attitude, and you can see it on every frame of this movie. But it wasn't always thus. The original director wanted to do something, so they had to get rid of him. They didn't want him to accidentally succeed. So, it was just like I used to get very upset by this, but now I watch something like this and I just feel for them. It's like watching the new. I did watch the new Kung Fu show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Feel for them too.
Oh no!
Oh, wow.
I'm not surprised.
Everybody's saying, but it's great that they're casting women and they cast Asians. I said, yes. So they also should treat them better than where they're treating them.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically, as far as I'm concerned, what they're doing is what they often do, and what they've done in a lot of video game movies and a lot of movies starring women, which is we're going to make sure that we're able to say, see, they can't open this film. See, video game movies don't open. Action movies starring women don't open. And they'll do what they can, like the speaking of video games movie, the most recent Tomb Raider. That was designed to fail. That was designed to, make you unhappy. And so they went so far out of their way to make sure this failed that it was just a sad, sad situation. However,
there's a lot of fans of that Tomb Raider movie though, with Vikander, and they're making a sequel, right?
That's what they're saying. But we'll see if it actually happens. It all depends on how Black Widow does.
That's true.
It also depends on what they can take example. I mean, I know about the whole history of DreamWorks sabotaging Pixar movies. I mean, 80% of bad producers like to play this little game where they can have power over anybody. I mean, Weinstein with the Kung Fu films.
Yeah.
They just want power. They just want the power to destroy because they resent creative people. because they feel empty inside and they're self-loathing. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I just felt very bad. But Timothy Oliphant was the one that kept me going.
Nice.
And some of the action. You know, I have to admit, I didn't watch every frame. I fast-forwarded through most of this.
Yeah.
Or
Didn't miss anything.
Yeah. No.
just tuned out.
I had more time for the stuff I really wanted to watch. So in any case, let's move on to the next one, because then we can get into the whole question of video games and other things.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Because I have a lot to say about that.
All right. Let's go ahead and set the scene here. Oh, by the way,
why are you talking sexy in our ears today?
I don't know. I think it's my brand new mic. Sorry.
Are you afraid? Don't be afraid of it.
I have two.
Lean back, bro.
I have two voices. I have.
I'm going to bring my mic over, although I'm not going to.
I have sex. I have
my mic's just right here.
Sexy and Trump.
No, don't. That's. Don't.
No Trump for the rest of the stream.
You're gonna lose subscribers.
Oh, it's all good. Oh boy, I just sound sexier, Tony. It's the mic. It's the new mic. Oh, but yeah, a quick shout out to Olga. My favorite role with her. I haven't seen all of her movies. I'm still trying to catch up. As the role she played in Centurion. This is my favorite role of her in her whole film career so far. I haven't seen the other ones. But she's a fucking maniac. Yeah. Kind of turned me on. I liked it. All right. Here we go. Max Payne. Hey, I'm Max Payne. How you doing? All right, let's go ahead and get to it here. Max Payne came out. Give me a second. 2008. Good old Max Payne here. Original video game came out in 2001. Look at that. It's been a while. All right, so plot synopsis. Coming together to solve a series of murders in New York City are a police detective and an assassin who will be hunted by the police, the mob, and a ruthless corporation. Directed by John Moore, starring Mark Wahlberg. That's right, Wahlberger, Mila Kunis, Beau Bridges, and others. That's right, Max Payne. All right. So, like I said, I'm probably going to make enemies, but it's all good. This is Versus. It's all love. Fuck this movie. Seriously. I fucking hate this. I hate this. I hate this movie. Why? Because just like Hitman, it went in accepting it under its own terms. And to me, it failed. It completely failed. To me, it did. How do you make a Max Payne movie and you don't get an action set piece until after an hour? You fucked up. I won today. And a whole hour goes by. And you finally get an action set piece shootout and a Max Payne property. Who the fuck made this decision? I'm not counting the opening bathroom fight. Hey, I got your watch. This guy got your watch. I got the watch. I'm not counting that. I'm not counting the two people he killed when he was trying to rescue his wife and kid. I'm not counting any of that garbage. An hour later, we finally had a shootout in a Max Payne property. So fuck Max Payne. I won. That's it. End of Versus. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. No.
Wait, we got to go to the vote.
I hate this movie. Now, cinematography-wise, it's a little bit more pleasing to look at. It's not as generic and flat as Hitman. I'll give the movie that. And finding out later that this movie they had the gall to release this movie is PG-13 in the theater already failed. They've already failed. I did not know this many years ago when this came out. This is atrocious. So this unrated version that we watched, I don't know if you guys know of, behind the scenes of what extra violent action they added to it. Maybe they added some blood CGI.
It was just that. It was
like,
just that.
Oh, yay, thank you.
It's only like 2 frames of
just God,
straight on.
Oh, you remember the beginning of the movie when they introduced the black character to the precinct? Yeah. What the fuck happened to that character? We never saw that character ever again. We never saw that character ever again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Don't mess with him. Bye. Yeah. Okay. I thought he was gonna.
Guy.
He's all like, "Hey, let's have a beer later." I thought maybe he was gonna be his partner, or he was gonna come into play later. No. Okay, we're done with that character. Okay. Maybe that was in the unrated version. Maybe they just threw in that character to show up and talk. Yeah. Yeah. So seriously, I mean, Meg from Family Guy. No. No. Meg from Family Guy did not convince me at all as this serious, intimidating, badass assassin. No, Meg. No, Meg. Go away, Meg.
This is basically Ted, the prequel, before they meet and get together.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like I was very patient with the film. I was like, okay, let's see what happens here. And I played all the Max Payne games. I'm a huge Max Payne fan, and they're dark, gritty, violent. The theme of Max Payne is tragedy. He's a very tragic character, but you want to root for him. It's sad, but you want to root for him. You know what I'm saying? And This is just like, hey, what are you guys doing? You know where my wife's been? This movie felt like, hey, do you remember that actor? Like Chris O'Donnell just showed up out of nowhere. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, what? Robin is here doing nunchucks with his socks? Like, what is happening? And then, like, was that Nelly Furtado showed up? And I was like, who else random's going to show up? And then Ludacris got out the car. I was like, okay.
Get out the way, here's Ludacris.
Yeah. Max Payne. There is no defense. There is no defense to make a Max Payne live-action movie, and an hour later, we finally get a shootout sequence. And what was the shtick of Max Payne, right? What made Max Payne popular? The bullet time. This was the selling point for the games.
Oh yeah,
the bullet time. And you mean to tell me you got the blueprint is already laid out? You got the John Woo movies from the 80s and 90s. You got the Matrix, the first Matrix movie. You got the video games. And you mean to tell me the only thing in slow motion you could do and come up with is, I'm sorry, not Meg. Hold on, let me find it. Is, I'm going to jump back and shoot the shotgun. Really? This is it. This is the only thing you could come up with. Just think about were they afraid that people might think that we're just copying the Matrix. Dude, the video games are about bullet time. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And this was it. You like this? Yay. Oh, sorry. Fuck you, Meg. Get out of here, Meg. All right. Yay. Yay. There's your bullet time.
All we need right there is to say 1 hour later. Still shooting.
Right?
Bullet time, yay. Damn it, I keep clicking on Meg. Fuck you, Meg. Get out of here.
It's Meg. It's not Meg's fault.
I know. But just the characters, like, why are you even here? So anyway, an hour later. I got it. An hour later, this. Oh, hey, action. You guys came here for action. Sorry you had to wait an hour before something happens. And then I'm like, okay, I'm still patient. Let's see what happens here. And then he goes to get revenge, right? He goes to the warehouse. When he gets in the warehouse, she's even warning him, don't go to Ragnarok. They're going to kill you. You want to die, right? Because you want to reunite with your family.
Go to Ragnarok. It's a much better movie.
Yes, it is. He goes to Ragnarok, right? And he kills like 2 people. And then he fights the main dude, and I'm like, wait a minute. I was expecting a huge mass of like dudes there. Like, why was she like, oh, don't go there, you're gonna die? He goes there and shoots like 5 people, and he walks out. I'm like, okay. And then I give Max Payne this: the end finale shootout was an inch better, is a little bit more satisfying, I guess, bootleg climax compared to Hitman just ending it. I'll give Max Payne that. They had a little bit more body count than Hitman fighting Kung Fu Monk and then wrapping it up, right? I will give Max Payne that. But here's the problem with that. Finally, he's doing this cool shit. He's flipping the shotgun over and shooting the guy, right? I'm like, okay, we're getting down and gritty. This is why I'm here. All right. But every time they did that shit, we got to throw in this bullshit. Could somebody explain? And then every time they threw in this bullshit, it took me out of the fight. It took me out of the action, man. And I don't remember. Could someone explain to me when he got set on drugs? When he got the drug? Did he get drugged? Did I miss it?
Yeah, he drank it right after he got out of the water.
Oh my God. I was so checked out. I totally missed it. Wow. Well, anyway, it still fucking sucks. They tried to make it epic. They tried to make this visually pleasing. Seriously, fuck this movie. They killed off Olga in 2 minutes. What the fuck was she doing in here? Like, seriously, I hate this movie. I hate it.
Let me-
All right.
Hold
But
on.
Kyle.
why? But
You
why?
hate this movie? I couldn't tell.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me think about it. I don't
He,
know.
he didn't even give a reason why.
I gave a reason why. Fuck this movie.
I drove you guys.
Sorry.
Wow, you guys are drinking at the same time.
Sorry. Just didn't care about the characters. Didn't care about the characters. Didn't care about what's happening in between. Don't care. You bring in Donald Logue. That's right. What you call from Blade. Killed him off. Okay, he's done. Any other actors we could just throw in here? Like, seriously. Did you guys even bother? You notice he didn't kill the head actress, well, the lead actress of the building corporation. You notice he didn't kill her.
Which is supposed to be like accurate of the video game.
Right.
And
well, in the end credits, there's an extra scene where he has a beer. He has a beer with Meg. And she's all like, "Hey, don't forget, you got to kill her. Get the fuck out of here, Max Payne! Max Payne, you have failed." All right, Kyle.
So this is where again the sense of like they try and make something so accurate that it's fucking boring.
Yes.
And this is like Max Payne falls in that example, along with Assassin's Creed. Fuck Assassin's Creed because that put me to sleep.
Yes.
And as much as I don't want to shit on it, Tomb Raider did that. The reboot of Tomb Raider did that too. They tried to make sure that all these films were as accurate to find that balance, and they fucked it up. And I barely remember Prince of Persia because that was a see exactly. So the thing is, like, to make an actual accurate film like this, and it was like, how do you do this? And what was it? I hate to say this.
Don't
I
hate.
I hate to be right of what I found out about Mortal Kombat.
Is this something we need to discuss off air or
yeah, we're going to discuss it off air because I don't want to spoil anything to everybody.
Let's do
that. Like, it's exactly what I saw in the trailer, and I was like, oh my god, it could go this way or this way. And then I'm just saying that. That's all I'm going to say.
We'll discuss it afterwards, and then we'll do a follow-up video after the movie comes out. Okay.
Yeah. But for Max Payne, like, I've only played the first game.
Yeah.
And I never got a chance to play the second one or third one, but I remember, the first game was that neo-noir, even, like, having that meta kind of feel also when you hear Max Payne doing all these things. And the first, like, level was you, like, trying to stop the killers from killing your wife. And I was like, how are you going to open this movie like that? And then it opens with just like, here he is in the water, just monologuing. I was like, okay, you got the monologuing part right.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it was just, again, they had the tools right there from the first game. They just had to, like, flesh it out in a way to make it cinematic.
That's it.
And they did. And then
they did.
They sabotaged it.
Yeah, they sabotaged it to the point.
To me, I'll explain this one too.
Because I understand that they were trying to put as much Norse mythology, because Valkyr, here's a drug. Here, Valkyrie's doing this, and it didn't work. It really didn't work at all. And then
they didn't want it to work.
No, and honestly, like, I appreciate the film trying to be accurate, but other than that, like, again, this is supposed to be like a John Woo kind of. You're supposed to get the John Woo type of gunplay like in the video game, but they never did that at all in this film, and it was just such a huge, like, letdown of seeing it. And I remember seeing it in theaters, going like, "Okay, how
this
you
is
feel?
it. That's it. Yay!"
Yeah. Literally 1 hour later.
Yeah. Look at the video game. Look at the video game.
Yeah.
We could have had so much fun. Just think of all the fun, over-the-top action set pieces they could have created. Everything was there.
There's a reason you hate this movie. It's because this movie hates you.
and that's why I don't want to, like, as a filmmaker myself, I'm just like seeing this and like, how do you hate your audience so much and hate the property to do this? And granted, the filmmaker never has a choice about this because, like, studio-wise, could actually screw it up too. But the thing is, like, how can you make a property that you're supposed to be invested? I'm looking at fucking Paul Anderson and fucking Uwe Boll. Basically, Uwe Boll and Paul Anderson are the same fucking people. Both.
W.S. Anderson.
Not quite. But
Basically,
they have a
Yeah.
similarity. They have a very similarity. I will answer your question when I can do it now, or you can wait till you get to me.
no, I actually because follow me on this, Rick. Like Uwe Boll takes a property and fucks it up, while Paul W.S. Anderson says he cares about the property, but somehow fucks it up his own way, just with more money.
Right.
But let's
Now
hear your
this is right up my area right here. This movie.
Shoot 'em up.
Yeah, this is more my thing. And everyone hates this movie, and this movie bombed, and no one gives a shit, which is sad because it's a fun movie. It's a fun, over-the-top action flick, and people just didn't get it. But that's another video for another time.
Right.
Okay, go ahead, Rick.
But
No.
I thought you wanted Rick to answer your question, right?
Yes.
I can wait. I wrote it down so I can wait till we get to me.
Okay.
No, it's all good. Like, because basically that's my whole shtick about this film was like it's accurate, but at the same time it's still not giving back to the audience of what they wanted.
What I will say before we get to me, it's just like The Replacement Killers in that it has all the style, it has none of the substance.
Yeah.
And style without substance is empty.
Mm-hmm.
But I will go on in more depth when we get to me. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Tony,
No problem.
what do you think? Positives and negatives of Max Payne?
I kind of wish the drug actually did what it's supposed to do. Like I thought that what's his name, Lupino. I thought he was gonna bullets were gonna bounce off of him or some shit, and then he gets shot, and then like that's it for him. It's like he was supposed to be like this main big guy, and then like it's like the worst mini boss ever. He just dies. It's like okay, and then the whole thing with them seeing I thought maybe this is like. Maybe it'd be something that it taps into something where these things are really there, but it's just they're hallucinating. And how are they all hallucinating the same thing?
Yeah,
like how is that possible? And I thought, okay, that thing pulled him out of the window. I was like, okay, maybe these things are really there, and it's like they're not really there. So who pulled him out of the window? He didn't exactly jump. I don't know. It's just like I just kind of wish that those things were real instead of just seeing them. And then if they were real, I wish when Max took it that he would have been able to control them and send them after him. And first off, BB, I can't stand him. I figured out like who was the main bad guy and all that shit. I hate him. I hate him in this movie anyway. I can't stand him. He's annoying, and especially since like he killed that baby and had like no remorse and everything for it.
Yeah,
like, what a prick. Like,
killed the wife and baby, and then runs out the window. I'm like, this 50-year-old dude did all that and just jumped out the window.
Yeah, like, and then to like be such an asshole, like he's like a son to me, but then like kill your grandkid in a way, and it just over this. I don't know. First time watching this, that part with the only slow time that they did. It was too long of a shot. They could have done so much more with that.
Mm-hmm.
I did like where he finally got pissed off, and he like those guys like come in the room shooting, and they don't know where he is, and he just comes up behind him and boom, boom, and shoots, and they fly back. That was like some of that was cool, but like it was too little, too late. I don't mind Mila Kunis in it. She's just for eye candy anyway, pretty much. But she never spoke Russian again. She comes in all Russian, and then she never speaks it again. Yeah, they killed off Olga too soon. There's a lot of dislikes in this. I do like the grittiness look of it. It's almost like a colorized version of Sin City in a way. You know what I mean? Yeah. But not exactly. Again, you used to mention that guy in the beginning, and I forgot about him. Like, what happened to that guy? I thought he was going to be a partner or something too. They're going to collaborate. No, and it's like, where the hell did he go? The one thing is, I did play a video game too, and then I was thinking like, oh, wonder if too bad they didn't have the dog. But like the chat was talking about, I was mixing this up with Dead to Rights, the video game, which was awesome. And the second one, he has a dog where he could sick the dog at them and stuff. And they also had like, I think it had some bullet time, but like it also like
Yeah, it did.
had him dodging and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's why I was like, oh, is this, and that's like, oh no, that's not this game. But that's why I was thinking maybe they'll make a Max Payne 2 and have the dog. And it's like, oh, it's a different game. But Dead to Rights would have been a better idea to make. What was I going to say?
Would it?
Yeah, it's a great game.
No,
Retribution, Dead to Rights
botch it.
Retribution.
They'll probably botch it like these two. But
Well,
yeah, I
maybe
get
somebody
you.
else made it. I mean,
Gotcha.
you know.
Just like we don't need a Sleeping Dogs film. We already have special ID.
Oh, yeah.
But in terms of action sequences,
yeah,
did you like Max Payne more than Hitman?
Honestly, I don't know.
The
I don't know.
said it all, Tony. Your sigh said it all.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
That's my sigh of like, it's too damn close. You know, they're both not great.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in the end, in the end of this, I'm just like, you know, again, another one I'm not going to watch ever again.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Alrighty.
What did I like better? This bland-looking crap, classy-looking shit.
yeah.
What do I like better?
Don't forget, the one with shit has nuts in it.
Which one doesn't smell so bad?
All that nuts.
Which one has Olga in it more? There you go. There you go. That's
You
the
want
one.
to? You're making a joke of that, but that's one of my choices of which one I like more.
All right, we'll see how it plays out in the end. GunFoo Santa.
Olga.
GunFoo
Well,
Santa.
I guess I'll answer your question, Kyle.
Mhm.
The people, John Moore, an Irish director, directed Max Payne.
Yes.
He didn't make another movie for 5 years. And originally, Max Payne was going to be written and produced by Sean Ryan, who created The Shield. So what happens here is the reason these guys do it is that it's a job that they can make money on.
Yes.
But people like Vin Diesel and Sean Ryan see which way the wind is blowing, and they go, my career and life is not worth this. Bye.
Yeah.
If you want to make
Gotcha.
a glossy piece of crap, you're going to have to find a director for hire. You're going to have to find somebody who's willing to do it. The actors, people, all the actors take it scene by scene. They're not making the movie. They just do the best they can with the part they're given.
Yeah.
That's why, Mark can scream at the green screen, feel like he's done something good for the day, because he has. Because he's trying to remain. Yeah, there you go. He's trying to remain credible in something. I mean, he can see what's going on. He can tell how the producers. Now, another thing I think you, Kyle, repeated a couple of times is that they try to make these movies accurate.
Yes.
I disagree with that. I don't think they were. Because they don't need to make the movie accurate, because they've got the video game.
Yes.
Very few people who haven't played the video game are going to see this movie. So it is very clear that they, from instantly, again, you hate this movie, it's because the movie hates you.
Yes.
Because they made this movie to make you hate it. Because they just go, oh, we tried to give you what you wanted. I always go back to Doctor Strange. I gave you what you wanted. You want it? That's a producer going, oh, these video game people, they're never satisfied. We try to give them exactly what they want. No, what they wanted is in the fucking video game. Your job now is to make a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to make a visual video game. It's to make a movie version, which has the things. I mean, I've worked in every medium, and I have to write screenplays differently than I write novels, than I write comic books. It's a completely different technique. And so here, again, the fix was in from the outset. As soon as the reputable, honorable people left the production and left it to the work for hire people, the actors just sort of went, okay, this won't kill our careers.
Gotcha.
But because the movie fails, and as long as unlike Warner Brothers, who sometimes likes to blame the director or blame the actors for the failure of the films, that didn't happen here. Mark moved on, Milo moved on, even Olga moved on.
Yeah.
So they already have the game. The other thing now, let me talk specifically about my feelings about the movie and how I compare it. And that is, we have Mark Wahlberg instead of Timothy Oliphant. So already it's kind of like, I like you, Mark, but you're not an actor. Nor should you be. It's not for this project, actually for none of your projects. As I already said, he always plays himself. But in terms, the other thing where it was very clear that the people wanted you to hate this movie is that they didn't even give you an accurate representation of Max Payne. Yeah. Those demons aren't in the fucking game.
Yeah.
So as soon as they showed up, and if they tied it in, again, the way I write, I want everything. If I'm going to set up something, and Hitchcock always says this, when you set up something for an audience, you're duty bound to pay it off.
Yeah.
Which is why Hitchcock is Hitchcock and John Moore is John Moore. In other words, as soon as those guys showed up, it was kind of like, you can't even do the video game.
Yeah.
You guys you are actively sabotaging this movie and yourself. And as soon as I saw these guys and saw that they had no purpose in the film, they don't pay off in any way, they don't add anything to the storyline. I come back to an old quote that I coined a while back. I forgot for which movie I did this for. But what I often say when I see something like this is, when anything is possible, nothing is interesting. Again,
true.
Nothing for me to hold on to. It's just, it's all ephemeral. It's just like, we put this in. I mean, there's a difference between a character who's cool and a character who's charming. John Steed in the Avengers movie should have been charming. That's what John Steed in the television show was.
Yeah.
But in the movie, he was cool. Which means you had a producer who wants to put a whole bunch of cool moments, string a whole bunch of cool moments together, whether they make sense or not. So are you dealing with a producer who goes, well, why'd you put that in the movie? And he goes, because it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking hate that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a reason you fucking hate that, because that producer more than likely hates themselves and is sharing their self-loathing with you. They're sublimating their own self-loathing and they're projecting it onto you.
And honestly, I actually have a filmmaking book that says first-time directors will always shoot as much things because they want the cool shot. It actually said that in my textbook. I'm like, I fucking hate this textbook.
Well, there you go. Also,
because it's true.
The producer is, that's why a producer will always tell you what the audience wants. We're doing this because this is what the audience wants. And I always reply, you have no idea what the audience wants. The only thing you have an idea of is what you want. And you're sublimating your self-loathing and projecting it onto the audience, blaming the audience for your bad choices. But that's because you wanted this to fail, because you can go to your cocktail parties and say, see how I ruined this? See how I ruined this?
Oh, man.
See the power
Wow.
I hope Weinstein's enjoying prison.
Those stupid video games. So, I'm done. Let me know when we can vote.
All right, awesome. Okay, copy that. All right, let's go and get down to the nit of the grit. It's voting time. That's right. And of course, if we have a tie here, the Movie Dojo Army can break the tie. That's right. We always have you guys involved as well. All right, so, we're gonna leave me last. No, you guys already know.
Oh, really? That's fine.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Kyle, go.
Man, this is hard.
It is hard. It actually is hard. That's true.
Because, again, you guys brought up good points about Timothy Oliphant being a credible actor, and he actually tried, and he's an actor in Hitman. And looking at Max Payne, visually, cinematically, and story-wise, it kind of works. Kind of works. Fuck it, I'm vetoing and saying Double Dragon. I'm just gonna say Double
Because
Dragon.
it's cinematography. You're not getting out of this, Kyle. You're not getting out of this, Kyle.
That's on the Hedgehog too. Like, but
You're
I'm going
not
with Double
getting out of
Dragon.
this.
I'm going with Double Dragon.
No, you must pick, sir.
I'm going to Double Dragon because my friend wanted to laugh so hard that, like, yeah, he chose Double Dragon. Which, again, everybody, if you want to join the Double Dragon cult, their credo is, I don't take the bathroom. I gotta take a whiz. You're weird.
Come on, Kyle.
Okay, so
Stop avoiding
I'm
it.
going with Max Payne.
All right, that's fine. That's
I'm going with
fine.
Max
Max Payne for Kyle. By default, that's fine. This episode is by default. Our choices. Tony, by default.
By default.
Choose. Make sure you choose wisely.
Hitman.
All right, Hitman. Okay. We got one for Payne, one for Hitman. GunFoo Santa. GunFoo Santa.
Again, I could watch Timothy Oliphant. He always tried to give me a little, you know, here's a little bonbon. It's wafer thin.
It's only a wow.
All right.
Yes, because Mark, as much as I like him,
Yeah.
he's a Teflon actor. You know, whenever I try to get involved, it just rolls right off of him.
Yeah.
And also, at least Hitman was sabotaged. The director tried to do something with it, but at least it's more honorable to its original video game than Max Payne was. So I have to, you know, this is really, it's not even Lady and the Tiger, it's Tiger and Tiger. It's just, but it's going to be Hitman.
All right, Hitman. All right. So in the beginning, as soon as we got started talking about Max Payne, I said I fucking hate the movie. So I think we already know. Because for me, it's like it just failed. It's like failed. Like I can actually watch Hitman, and I can make it through, and be like, all right, that's some few moments. Okay, good. It's harmless, right? Max Payne, I'm more of a fan of that video game franchise. And the third video game was one of the greatest video games I've ever played. Max Payne 3 is phenomenal. It's very underrated. And when you play those games and you see all those really cool action set pieces in the games, you think of a movie.
Yeah.
You think of, wow, this would look so awesome on the big screen. And then you watch this, and I'm like, what is happening? And then we get that. And that's it. I'm so mad. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. So, yeah, the winner is going to be tonight on Versus episode 11. The winner is Hitman.
By default.
By default, yes. Yes. And let's see here.
I like Tribal Chief's comment.
What do you say?
This is a hateful episode.
I never, you know, we got to do better. I won't do this again.
I didn't force you, Rick. I didn't force you.
No, I wanted to do it.
All right.
Movies because I was hoping that I could, but I should have known. You know, I learned a lot, but
I just thought it'd be interesting, but put them both together because you literally are a year apart. So I'm like, okay, let's go and check it out. So so Hitman is the winner for tonight. Let's see what the Movie Dojo chose. Bam! Wow!
Oh wow!
Holy shit! Look at that! Wow,
that's pretty impressive.
That's 348 votes. Holy moly, guacamole!
I'm lucky I get 7.
This guy. Did you do your voting poll?
No.
Oh, you didn't do it? Okay.
No.
All right. Anything else before we wrap it up today, guys?
I'm waiting for a good video game movie.
I agree.
The problem is it'll take an extremely talented person to pull it off, and extremely talented people are not going to waste their time trying, because we've got the video game. The video game has already made more money than these movies put together.
Yeah.
It's really kind of pointless to make them other than to exploit an audience. And that's all they're doing. So
Gotcha. Now, I haven't seen Sonic, I heard that a lot of people like it.
I
Is
like
it one of those good? Is actually legitimately good, or is it good by default?
It's actually pretty good.
Okay.
I was surprised by it too.
Yeah, it's pretty good because the director did respond to the audience after they did that horrendous original take on,
the CGI look.
and also it was such a pleasure to see Jim Carrey go full Carrey again
Yeah.
Yeah.
after
It looked fun.
years of doing bad dramatic acting or mediocre dramatic acting or too emotional dramatic acting, or him, because Jim Carrey is the modern Jerry Lewis.
Mhm.
So for him, but he's the only guy. He's the only guy who can do what he does.
Yeah.
So to see him do it again was just awesome, and
Yeah.
it was perfect for a video game movie because he's a video game character.
Yeah.
Even in his other movies, he's basically a video game character. So you
Yeah.
know, I don't think there's any question that Sonic is the best video game movie because it's got
nice.
doesn't make any sense, but video games don't either.
It's fine.
Nice, fun, it's warm, it's clever. I smiled a bunch of times, and Carrie is just such a joy to see go.
Nice.
Go.
Yeah.
Also,
I
I'm
definitely agree
probably gonna
with
end up
that.
just buying it. I'm probably gonna just blind buy it because I'm a Sega fanboy. So
I think it was free on Prime at one point.
I think it still is, and you should definitely.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, shoot, I'll check it out first.
That's for
Let's
all
see.
of you guys out there. Check it out.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Check out-
Sonic the Hedgehog shout out. That's how we do it. Got to represent Sega. All right. All you badasses, don't forget, again, follow GunFoo Santa. That's right, Rick Myers, buy his books. That's right. Podcast, Rick, podcast.
Action Film Autopsy.
Yeah.
AskSantaAnything.com.
Yes. Follow
Yeah.
that. Follow Tony of the Dead. Subscribe. Follow Kyle's work. We got to do this again. It's going to be a lot of fun next time, hopefully.
The movie.
Good movies.
Yeah, good movies. That was a torture to watch these movies. Back to
It was.
back.
It's the only fun you get out of it is we get to talk about it together.
That is true.
That's fun. So
That
we
is
did
true.
have some fun out of
Makes
it.
it all worthwhile.
All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the Old Samurai. That's right. Check out the merchandise store. Check out the join button up at the top of the channel. That's right. Exclusive perks. A lot of good stuff coming. Don't forget tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Join me again. We got a special guest tomorrow. Director Jesse V. Johnson. That's right. We'll be here tomorrow, and we only get him for a little while, but it's cool that he's decided to give this old knucklehead a few moments of his time, and we can talk about his action films.
He was on my San Diego Comic-Con Kung Fu Extravaganza panel twice.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, Jesse's cool. Jesse's a nice
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, he said he'd come by and hang out with the Movie Dojo Army. So that's tomorrow at 6 p.m. And then we'll see you guys next time. Take care, guys.
My best.
See ya.